Let me ask you something. If you could remove all suffering from your life, every pain, every loss, every disappointment, every grief, but in doing so you would also remove hope, would you? Would you choose a life without suffering, if it meant a life without the possibility of things getting better? Would you accept a world where nothing hurts, if it also meant nothing could change? Because that is the choice at the heart of Pandora's myth, the choice nobody talks about. When they say Pandora opened the box and released all evils, everyone knows this image, Pandora's box. Woman's curiosity, the origin of human suffering. Blame the female, patriarchy's oldest story. But that is not what the myth says. Not really. First, it was not a box, it was a jar. Epimetheus, a large storage vessel. Second, Pandora did not open it out of simple feminine curiosity. She was created to open it, designed for this specific purpose. Third, the evils were not released into emptiness. Before Pandora, humans had fire, Prometheus's gift, but lived without suffering. No disease, no aging, no death. And fourth, most importantly, when everything else escaped, one thing remained: hope. And nobody agrees on what that means. Is hope humanity consolation, the one mercy in a world of pain? Or is hope the cruelest punishment of all, the thing that keeps you going? Well, it might be kinder to surrender. Let me tell you the real story, and then you can decide what hope means to you. You remember Prometheus, the titan who stole fire from the gods and gave it to mortals. Zeus punished Prometheus eternally, chained to a rock, eagle devouring his liver, suffering without end. That was not enough, because humans still have fire, still benefited from Prometheus's theft, were growing stronger, smarter, more capable every day. Zeus could not take fire back. Once given, that particular gift was irreversible, but he could make humans wish they would never receive it. He could poison the gift, make its cost so high that humans would curse Prometheus's compassion. So Zeus devised a plan, elegant, cruel, perfectly calculated, to seem like generosity, while delivering maximum punishment. He would create a gift for humanity, something they would welcome, accept, integrate into their lives, and then that gift would destroy them from within. He called Hephaestus, god of craftsmen, the smith who forged wonders, and gave him an order: create a woman, not just any woman, the first woman. Because up until this point in the myth, only men existed. Humanity was incomplete, single-gendered, missing half of itself. Zeus would give them the missing half, and in doing so, curse them forever. Let it be direct. This myth is deeply misogynistic. Woman as punishment, femininity as curse, beauty as trap. The Greeks, specifically Hesiod, who wrote this down, embedded their cultural anxieties about women into cosmic origin story. But if we look past the patriarchal framing, there is something more interesting here. Not woman as punishment, but the idea of gifts that contain curses, beauty that conceals danger, acceptance that leads to consequence, and most importantly, Pandora herself, who transcends Zeus's intentions. So, Zeus ordered woman created as punishment, but what was actually created? That is where it gets interesting. Hephaestus moulded her from clay and water, shaped her form with the same hands that forged Zeus's thunderbolts of Poseidon's trident. Even knowing Zeus's intentions, Hephaestus made her beautiful, because that was his nature, to create with excellence. Then each Olympian added their gifts. Athena taught her weaving and crafts, skill with her hands, the ability to create. Aphrodite gave her beauty and grace, the kind that makes others stop and stare. Hermes gave her a cunning mind, persuasive speech, the ability to charm and convince. Apollo blessed her with musical talent, a voice that could move hearts. And Hera, Zeus's wife, who had her own complicated feelings about this, gave her curiosity. That word, curiosity. In Greek, polypragmosune, medelsomenes, the desire to know what should remain hidden, the inability to leave things alone. Was this Hera's contribution to the curse? Her way of ensuring Pandora would fulfill Zeus's plan. Something else, a seed of autonomy in a being designed to have none. The Greeks saw curiosity as dangerous, particularly for women. Do not question, do not investigate, accept what you are told. But curiosity is also consciousness, the beginning of thought, the refusal of blind obedience. Hera gave Pandora the thing that would doom her to open the jar, and also the thing that made her fully human. When she was complete, Zeus named her Pandora, or gifted, or gift from all. A perfect name for a perfect trap. She was lovely, talented, charming, curious, everything a man might desire. And Zeus designed her for one specific man, Epimetheus, Prometheus' brother. Afterthought. To Prometheus' forethought, Prometheus had warned him. Never accept a gift from Zeus. Whatever he offers, refuse it. There will be a trap hidden inside. Good advice. Clear warning. Epimetheus accepted Pandora immediately. Zeus sent Pandora to Epimetheus with a wedding gift, a large sealed jar. This is for your household, Zeus said, but do not open it. Just keep it safe. Instructions guaranteed to create exactly what Zeus wanted. Overwhelming curiosity about what must never be known. Epimetheus saw Pandora, beautiful, graceful, talented, had forgot every warning. Married her, brought out in his home, and Pandora saw the jar. Different versions disagree on how long she resisted. Some say days, others say years, but the curiosity grew. The questions multiplied. What is inside? Why did Zeus give it to us? Why am I forbidden to look? What could be so dangerous that even knowing of its existence is permitted, but seeing it does not? I watched her struggle, saw the curiosity warring with obedience, the desire to know fighting the command to remain ignorant. And I thought, this is the human condition in miniature. The tension between safety and knowledge, between comfort and truth, between what you are told and what you discover. People judge Pandora harshly. She should have obeyed. She should have resisted. But she was designed to open it, giving curiosity specifically, so she would. Zeus created a being who could not help but do the thing she was forbidden to do, then punished humanity when she did exactly what she was made to do. That is not justice. That is entrapment. Some myths say she opened it deliberately, consciously, choosing knowledge over obedience. Others say her hand slipped, that it was almost accidental, curiosity manifesting as a moment's carelessness. A few versions blame Epimetheus, saying he opened it, and Pandora took the fall. The result is the same. The seal breaks, the lid opens, and everything changes. Darkness poured out. Not literal creatures, not demons with names, but conditions, states of being. The things that make life hard. Disease, bodies breaking down, illness without cure, pain without end, old age, the slow diminishment, the loss of strength and memory, and youth. Insanity, minds turning against themselves, reality fracturing, grief, the price of love, the weight of loss, envy, the poison of comparison, the suffering of wanting. Despair, the conviction that nothing will ever improve. Toil, endless labor without rest, the curse of necessary suffering. Before Pandora's jar, humans had fire, but no suffering. They died, but not from disease. They simply fell asleep when their time came. They worked, but it was not toil. Creation was effortless joy. They innocent, children playing in a garden. And in an instant, that ended. The first fever, the first grey hair, the first malicious thought. The first moment of looking at your hands and seeing them weaker than yesterday. The first understanding that everything you love will be taken from you eventually. Pandora tried to close it, slammed the lid down. Too late. The spirits were already spreading across the earth like smoke, impossible to recapture. Everything Zeus packed into that jar, all the sufferings he would carefully collected, was now humanity's inheritance. The gift of fire had been poisoned. Prometheus's compassion had been answered with Zeus's cruelty. The myths say Pandora wept, realized what she would unleash, felt the weight of having changed the world forever. Some versions make her villain. Woman's curiosity ruined everything. Others make her victim. She was designed to fail. I think both are too simple. She made a choice. Curiosity over obedience. Knowledge over safety. And yes, that choice had consequences. Terrible ones. But perhaps consciousness always has a price. Perhaps the price of awareness is the awareness of suffering. You cannot know joy deeply without knowing sorrow, cannot appreciate health without experiencing illness, cannot value time without knowing it is finite. Pandora did not just release suffering. She released the knowledge of suffering, the consciousness of mortality. She made humanity fully human. And then she heard something. A sound from inside the jar. Something was still there. One spirit remained, had not escaped with the others, stayed at the bottom of the jar. Elpis, hope. And here is where every interpreter of this myth disagrees. Is hope a mercy? The one gift Zeus accidentally left, the consolation that makes suffering bearable? Or is hope the worst torment of all, the thing that keeps you going when it might be kinder to give up? The lie that tomorrow will be better, trapping you in endless striving. The ancient Greeks debated this. The philosophers could not agree. 2,000 years later, humans still argue about it. First interpretation. Hope remained as mercy. Zeus, despite his cruelty, allowed one consolation. Or perhaps, more interestingly, hope was too powerful for even Zeus to fully recognize. It stayed in the jar not because Zeus wanted it there, but because hope has its own nature, its own logic. With hope, humans could endure disease knowing cure might come, face old age, knowing each day still held possibility, feel despair without surrendering to it entirely. Hope became the counterweight. The thing that let humans live in suffering without being destroyed by it, the light in darkness, the reason to continue, the refusal of pure nihilism. From this view, Pandora's mistake was actually a transformation. Yes, she released suffering, but she also released the means to survive it. Humanity became mortal, fallible, vulnerable, and also resilient, hopeful, capable of enduring. Second interpretation. Hope remained as the final curse, the cruelest one, because suffering you know will end is bearable. But suffering combined with the hope that it might end, when it might not, becomes torture. Hope keeps you trying, when trying only brings more pain. Keeps you believing, when belief leads to disappointment. Keeps you trapped in the cycle, when acceptance might bring peace. From this view, Zeus's revenge was complete. He gave humans not just suffering, but the false promise the suffering would end, the exhausting delusion of improvement, the lie of progress. Hope is the thing that will not let you quit. And sometimes quitting, accepting, surrendering, finding peace with what is, would be kinder. So which is it? Is hope humanity's salvation, or its damnation? The honest answer? Both. Neither. Something more complex than either, or. The Pythagoreans understood. Reality contains irreducible paradoxes. Things that are simultaneously true and contradictory. Light is both particle and wave. You are both self and process. Time is both river and stillness. And hope is both gift and curse. Hope in a woman enduring chemotherapy, believing she will survive. This hope gives her strength to continue treatment, to fight, to live. But hope in that same woman, if the cancer is terminal and treatment only prolongs suffering, does hope help, or does it prevent acceptance, peaceful surrender, the end of fighting? Hope in a prisoner serving unjust sentence, believing he will be freed. This hope preserves his humanity, keeps him from despair. But hope in that same prisoner, if the system will never free him, does hope serve him, or call to him with impossible dreams, while his life passes in the cell? Hope in someone whose beloved has flaws, but is growing, working, changing. This hope allows patience, forgiveness, partnership, through transformation. But hope in someone whose beloved is abusive will never change. Keeps promising they will. This hope becomes the chain that keeps them trapped in cycles of harm. So hope is not simple. Not purely good or purely bad. Hope is generative. It creates possibilities, but it cannot guarantee outcomes. Hope is sustaining. It lets you endure, but sometimes endurance prolongs suffering. Hope is transformative. It changes how you relate to circumstance, but it cannot always change the circumstance itself. The Greeks, near wisdom, did not tell you what hope meant. They just said it remained. When all else escaped, hope stayed, not strong enough to prevent suffering, but present nonetheless. Not absent enough to allow despair, but not powerful enough to guarantee salvation. Just there, persistent, questionable, necessary. And even the mechanics are debated. Did hope stay trapped, never reaching humanity? A consolation withheld? Or did hope remain contained, so humans could access it as needed, rather than it dissipating like the sorrows? Did Pandora later release hope deliberately, carefully, giving humanity the antidote after poison? The myths do not agree. Perhaps because the answer depends on the person, the moment, the circumstance. Perhaps hope is meant to be uncertain, questionable, a choice rather than a gift. So what do we do with this myth? Pandora opened the box and released all evils. That is the story everyone knows. But the real story is more complex and more useful. First, beware gifts from power. Zeus gave Pandora as a gift. She was designed to seem desirable, containing destruction. When authority offers something too good to refuse, ask, what is the trap? What is the cost hidden in the generosity? Power does not give without taking. A gift is the trap. Second, curiosity is dangerous and also necessary. Yes, Pandora's curiosity released suffering, but curiosity is also consciousness. The refusal of blind obedience, the beginning of real choice. A being without curiosity is a tool, not a person. Pandora became fully human the moment she chose knowledge over safety. Sometimes the price of awareness is awareness of pain, but unconsciousness is not innocence. It is just unconsciousness. Third, suffering and growth are bound together. Before the jar opened, humans have fire, but no context, power without understanding, gifts without cost. After the jar opened, humans understood limitation, mortality, the precious nature of time and health and joy. Prometheus gave humans fire. Pandora gave them the knowledge of why fire matters. Both were necessary. Both came at tremendous cost. Fourth, hope is not salvation. It is a practice. Hope does not guarantee anything. It does not promise tomorrow will be better. It does not prevent suffering or ensure happy endings. Hope is the choice to engage with possibility, despite uncertainty, the refusal of premature surrender, the acceptance that you do not know how things will unfold, but also, hope can become illusion, can trap you in impossible dreams, can prevent necessary acceptance. The wisdom is knowing when hope serves you and when it imprisons you. And finally, you live in Pandora's world. The jar is already open, the suffering already released. You did not choose this. You were born into a world where disease exists, where aging is inevitable, where loss is certain, where pain is woven into the fabric of existence. You can rage at Pandora for opening the jar. Blame her curiosity, wish for the innocent world that came before, or you can acknowledge, this is the world, this is the condition, suffering is here, and so is hope. The question is not, why is there suffering? The jar is open. That is answered. The question is, what do you do with hope? Do you use it as fuel, as defiance, as the thing that keeps you moving when circumstances say stop? Or do you recognize when hope becomes obstacle? When acceptance would serve better than striving? When surrender is wisdom rather than defeat? There is no single answer. Hope is paradox. The Greeks gave you this myth, not as instruction, but as mirror. As a way to examine your own relationship with hope and suffering, they said, "You will suffer, that is certain, and you will hope, that is human." The wisdom is knowing what to do with both. Pandora opened a jar. Everything escaped, except hope, and humanity has been trying to figure out what that means ever since. Perhaps that is the point. Perhaps hope is meant to be questioned, examined, chosen consciously rather than assumed blindly. Perhaps the lesson is not what hope is, but how you use it. The jar is open, has been for millennia. Suffering walks the world. You know this already. You have felt it, and hope remains questionable, persistent, yours to use or refuse. Pandora made humanity mortal and aware. Prometheus made humanity capable and creative. Together, they gave you the human condition, the fire to change things, the knowledge that things need changing, the suffering that makes change necessary, and the hope that change is possible. What you do with that is your story to write.